1,000 members, how would you be able to read all your comments? Respect to read as many as possible. I do my best. Darren O'Sullivan says, would you recommend forking out on a joystick right now, or maybe play with an Xbox controller for a bit and save up for a better quality joystick? It all depends on what you want to get out of the sim, you know. For realism, a joystick is going to be a lot better. You disappeared for a moment there. That's never a good sign. It's a night of nights we're having, guys. Yeah, it's a night of night. Just bear with me. There's nothing kind of too fancy in the stream tonight. I'm just going to keep waffling on and see how it all goes. I wonder if it was my internet. No, it's probably on my side. The night I'm having, I just wouldn't be surprised. Donald Miller says hello again. Hello again, Donald Miller. So basically, anyway, this is your artificial horizon. So when you turn as well, you can turn by degrees and all this kind of stuff. Over on the right hand side then you have your altimeter, or your altimeter. Basically the smaller hand would denote hundreds of feet, the larger hand would denote thousands of feet. So this is showing that we are at 30 or 3,000 feet. If you want to get to 10,000, you have a smaller arm in here that'll ramble up to the 1. Then you'd have kind of 10,000, 11, 12, and so on and so forth. Your altimeter is very important because you would zero this to the barometric pressure, and that would depend on the weather. So if you have, for example, low pressure, well then you'd have a low baro reading. As Quantum Mist is now following. Many thanks, Quantum. I'm just having a night of it. There's some watching and then there's some not watching. But it's okay. I'm just very stubborn. I wanted to fly back to Rio de Janeiro. So we're going okay so far. Down here then we have our turn coordinator. Basically what your turn coordinator is, if you were just to turn the yoke left or right and you didn't bother coordinating your turn, your head would kind of bounce off the window, or your passenger's head would bounce off the window. If you coordinate the flight, it will allow the rudder move in the opposite direction, kind of. Basically, instead of just trying to bank the aircraft, it will turn the aircraft. And it's really handy for taxiing as well, and you'll know if you have some sort of a drag or problem with wind or stuff like that. Fugly is here. Good evening to you. Positive Rate is here. Happy Friday, guys. I'm having a night of it. So everything was streaming tickety-boo earlier on, and then it crashed. And it was a bad crash tonight. A Windows update kind of dragged it all to a horrible stop. But well, we're back now. And then the internet just crashed there moments ago, because... Anyway, Murphy's Law. What did you expect? This one here, this is our heading indicator. So pretty much your gyro compass. So the red marker here, this is for your autopilot system, whereby if you zero your heading to, let's say, north or 360 or 0 degrees, you can then tell your autopilot over here to follow your heading mode, and it'll turn the aircraft onto this heading. So you can move that one around. This one here will actually adjust the overall heading and the direction of the aircraft. So it's very important you have what's known as gyroscopic or gyroscopic drift, if that makes sense. To do with the gyro system, this will drift, so you kind of have to sync this every couple of minutes, usually kind of every 10 to 15 minutes. Ivan is here. He says, hi Murphy again, you're nothing if not persistent. Now I'm telling you, stubborn, as thick as a mule. I shall not be conquered by man nor machine. I probably will, but anyway. And the last one we're going to look at then is the vertical speed indicator. Basically with the vertical speed, it'll give you an indication of how fast you're climbing or descending. So a positive 5 would denote you're traveling at or you're climbing at 500 feet per minute, 1,000 feet per minute, 1,500 feet per minute, or 2,000 feet per minute. The opposite then, if you go down the way, you're descending at 500 feet per minute, or you're descending at 1,000, and so on and so on. Outside of that then, you have more navigational equipment. You have your VOR indicators. You can tune your radios into VOR stations, and that's where they get all that from. Again, it's a way of just navigating. We'll go through them some other time, but basically you'll have anything from a flag denoting you're heading towards that area or you're heading away from it, or in this case we have it on GPS, so at the moment we're bang on our GPS. If, for example, that you can see from the line here, these lines here, if they were off, it's basically giving you an indication that you're flying off course and you need to fly in the direction of the line like this to resync it. That's what all that good stuff does. Anyway, down here is the RPM, or your rev counter. It's telling you what revs the engine is running at, and you also have a Hobbs meter, or an hours meter, just like a tachometer. It's telling you how many engine hours is working on the aircraft. Moving over to the main panel then, these guys here are for different marker lights in and out of an airport, your outer, middle and inner marker. This is all kind of your receivers, what you need to be listening to. Mainly to do with your, well, that does work, only barely. Mainly to do with your communications and navigation. Jessica Bruno's here. She says, wait, you got the APU to work in the Steam Gauge 172. Yeah, it can be a little bit of a headache at the start, but once you kind of figured it out, it's fine. Moving down here, this is a model of the Garmin GNS 530, and beneath it then you have a GNS 430. So in this particular model they have both Garmin's included. Some of them might just have this, some of them might just have that, or some of them they mightn't have any at all. So these aren't fully implemented yet. They're not bad. You know, you can change your radio frequencies, you can change your nav frequencies, you can go through a direct to course, you can set up a flight plan. The VNAV doesn't really work. The procedures are kind of modeled, they're there, and it's much the same down here. One is a copy of the other pretty much. Down here then, I think it's a Bendix autopilot, but essentially you have your autopilot master button, your heading, as in to follow your heading on this guy over here. Navigation will follow what navigation you have set up, either going to be nav GPS, or it could be just nav mode, in which would be a VOR 1 or a VOR 2. That's when these instruments come alive. Bartman says, PC sorted. I think so. And then the internet kind of went down, but we're grand. This is like high quality streaming here, lads. Like, we wouldn't have it any other way. A couple of crashes and, you know, it's totally fine. You have an approach mode. You have a reverse or back course approach mode. You have turn vertical speed mode on. Now, usually with altitude, I can never get around this. Usually what is to happen, when you select an altitude, you should be able to arm it, then you hit altitude, and then you hit your up or down. Your up or down is basically going to say how much do you want the aircraft to climb, so that'll be V speeds. So by V speed, if you select 500, well, going back to your vertical speed indicator, that'll bring the nose up and you'll start climbing at 500 feet per minute. You just need to be careful when you do that, because it'll have an effect on obviously your speed. Down here then we have a transponder. This is how your aircraft essentially is going to be identified on a radar. We're currently flying under VFR rules, so we're squawking VFR. If we were talking to ATC, they would give us a 4-digit code. We could ident, as in they might say give us a flash of your squawk, or ident, or identify. So basically when we hit ident, that'll flash up on their screen and they'll say, ah, there's the plane I'm looking for, because they'll know by what code you need. If you're flying in VFR, you don't need to worry about ATC for the most part, unless of course you're going to fly into their airspace. Moving down, we'll start here. This is your flaps indicator. So you have flaps for landing and takeoff. Basically your flaps, if you lower them, they would allow you to travel at a lower speed without stalling the aircraft. So they're always handy to have. Moving over here then, we have our mixture, that's for our engine. Then we have our throttle. This is a static air, we don't need to use that. These are just some of your internal lights for the glare shield and your feet and whatever else. Moving down here, we have what's called a pitch trim. So basically the pitch trim is there to, it acts on the, mainly on the elevator, whereby when you fly in an aircraft, usually what happens is the yoke, you pull it back or you push it forward. If you pull it back to maintain a climb or on takeoff, you would then trim the wheel, and you're technically trimming the forces out of the yoke, so you don't have to physically hold the thing back. You're going to trim it until such a time you can almost let it go. It's not going to move anywhere. So that's kind of what you want. Don't forget, guys, we're over on Discord as well, so if the stream does decide to say, nah, we're not doing this again, we'll be over on Discord, if all fails. This guy here is just a microphone, if you didn't have a headset plugged in. Then you have your fuel tank selector, and then you have your fuel shut-off valve. It's just like an on-off switch for your fuel. And that's kind of your familiar, that's where you plug in your headphone jack and your headphones. So that's kind of your tour of the Cessna 172 steam gauge in very, very basic terminology. So hopefully you learn something new every day, and if you don't, well sure, well it could be waffled, but it's grand. So our dudes in formation here behind us, we're looking well. Jam Fjord is here. He says, hey, good to see you, Murph. My goodness, you're a tenacious chap. I think the word you're looking for is tick and stubborn. But it's grand. It's Friday. There is whiskey in the jar, and it's all grand. So we're flying around Brazil. We're heading down to Rio de Janeiro. We're going to fly around Christ the Redeemer, because we need redemption. I have to say, that is some nice formation flying there, dudes. Jam says, lol, I'd never be so rude. Jarhead 3075 asks, can you do an IFR flight in the 172? Yep, you surely can. Because you're equipped with the likes of an autopilot and you have all these wonderful GPS gadgets, you can of course fly IFR. You have sufficient instruments in this aircraft to fly without being outside or looking outside. So technically we could fly just like this. Now, it wouldn't make for the most exciting stream, but it can be done. As Jarhead 3075 is now following. Many thanks, my dude. I hope you're enjoying the stream. We can zoom out here. We're on our own flight plan. Over here, Is it here or is it over there? I think it's over this neck of the woods. But we do have some nice views coming in here. There's Christ the Redeemer up there on the hill, so we're going to have a ramble over to him and check it all out. Ludos is back. Tarso's back, he says. That's the sugar loaf on the left. Is it this one? I think it is that one. Stephen Coughlin, you're back on. I surely am. I'm as stubborn and as thick. And I said, it won't beat me. As Ludos is here as well, he goes, oh, Murphy's live again. Oh yeah. So we have some dudes here behind us. So here's the airport we're looking for. I'm now going to adjust our heading mode because I want to go over by Christ the Redeemer. So I've selected the heading and I'm now going to go heading mode on the autopilot, and you'll notice the aircraft banking or pitching or rolling to the left to follow this new heading. Jam says, I wish I could join you all on the magical Murphy Street tour of Brazil, but I'm an hour into a 12 or 13 hour 747 flight. Pass me the coffee. Nice. Luna says, how long will you stay live? I have no idea. Until the machine says, that's it, Murph. We're taking our revenge on you. So this is going to make for a beautiful scene. If you're just joining us here tonight, it's been a night of nights. Multiple crashes, multiple updates, multiple problems, but sure, look at we're here. And I'm very glad all you guys are here as well. You're all very welcome. Happy Friday. We've made it to the weekend. Almost. Goat Dragon is here. He says, what up, Murphy? I'm just joining you here tonight. Right as you said it. Nice one, dude. Hope you're keeping well. And happy Friday. Bruce C is here. Happy Friday, he says. How's it going, Bruce? It sure is a nice sight. You got a 3-day weekend in the US. Nice. It's Labor Day, right? And on Monday, it's Independence Day in Brazil. And I can't share I know that information. It's not like I did a stream earlier on. Giuliano is here. It looks like Rio de Janeiro. I'm Brazilian. You're very welcome along, dude. Your home country is beautiful. There's some real tidy flying here behind us with the dudes. This sim, yeah, it's amazing. If you're new here, guys, don't forget I stream every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, usually without interruption or like failures of crashes and internet stuff. So be sure to hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe or follow if you like the content. Chris McGowan is here. He says, how's it going from Kerry? It's going better now, Chris. Many thanks for joining us, and happy Friday to you, dude. Big Fulcher Road. This is a real pretty place. Your wingman forgot to retract his gear. Nah, I think it's kind of a glitch. He could be using a custom livery that's not included in the sim. But it's okay. Keen Rose says, ever land in Hong Kong? Friend of mine went there and said you're literally flying over buildings before you land. Cool. Hong Kong is definitely on our list of places to go and visit in the sim. Okay, we're going to make a right turn here and make our way back in towards the bay here. Stephen says, am I in a closed group? No, it should be all players if you want to join along, Stephen. Coach Dragon says, is that the premium deluxe edition of the Cessna 172? It surely is. Bruce says, flew in Hong Kong for real, and it's short and scary. Awesome, dude. Tarsa says, the other day I made a 300-kilometer trip following a major road. It's impressive the level of detailing of the terrain, even in not major places. I agree. Like, I would consider Ireland not a major place, and it's detailed very well. As we're fighting some updrafts here and a bit of wind and pressure coming off the mountains. Oh yeah, real bumpy here. Sean is there, he says, watching from a mile from 2-4 at Shannon. Nice. Bruce says, then went into mainland China on Dragon Air. They don't have seatbelts. I'd love that. When you leave Hong Kong, it's completely dark everywhere. It's crazy, man. It's proper bumpy up here. Philip Breen is back. He says, are we all sorted then? I think so. I do believe it's working. And thank Jemima for that. There's a Diamond DA62 flies on by. Nice. So I'm going to do a bit of exploring here now. Because I haven't been here before. So I'm thinking I'm going to go kind of left here and head up this neck of the woods. To see what we can see. So guys, I'm going to take a left turn heading 360 degrees, heading due north. Thank you, Jemima. She's a good one. Bruce says it's too real. It does look very impressive, doesn't it? Irish Aviator is back. He says, are you going to fly over the Amazon? Oh god, yeah. Want to figure out a couple of bush flying locations just to see how they all turn out. And yeah, that's going to be cool. We have another couple of Cessnas off our wing here. Looking good, fellas. So what can we see out here? It's such a vast, sprawling city. It's huge. What about you guys? Where have been some of the nicest places you found in Microsoft Flight Sim? We're going to ramble up here to the left. New heading is going to be 270 degrees. As we do a little bit more exploring here. Breen says, are you staying on for long, Murph? Is there time for me to join? Yeah, sure. Jump in. Don't know for how long, but jump in. There's always time for a bit of flying, Philip. Did you bring your grog along Indonesia X-53 airport? Nice. Rizla 966. No, it's not. It's Rizla 966. Mexico City from altitude at night. Oh, that sounds nice, yeah. Mexico. Gotta check that place out. The size of this place is massive. Jam says, been impressed by Scotland. Keen Rose says, Sligo has to be the best place on earth. Jam says, the Philippines. I must, I was going to do a spin up by Norway. I'll do that really soon, because I want to see what it's like. New heading, turning right. 300 degrees. Just look at the amount of buildings, like it's frightening. Mr. Chippy, he says, my sim just went boom. Oh dear. Philip Breen says, I flew over Paris, which was cool. Mr. Chippy, did you perchance download a new Windows update? Because if you did, welcome to the club. My screen is a little bit jumpy, but that's okay. Yeah, Mr. Chippy, you gotta go real careful with them updates. If for whatever reason, when you install them, and your sim is constantly crashing, go back in, manually uninstall them, restart your PC, and then download them again. And then you should be good. That's what I had to do. And it took me about 2 hours to figure that out. Jam says, ah man, Norway is such a disappointment. Loads of weird lakes and terrain, nowhere near as impressive as the real life. Ah, dude. Well, thanks for the heads up. The Faroe Islands are also disappointing. Like, our airport isn't even there. That kind of sucks. Okay, duly noted. So we won't fly there just yet. We'll give Asobo and Microsoft a bit of time to work on their updates over the next couple of weeks and months. Because they will. Look at the state of these views. Beautiful. Mr. Chippy says, question, have you updated to Windows 10 version 2004 yet? Yes, I have. And so there was 2 updates on my machine tonight, which kind of broke everything. And I mean they broke everything. Sim crash, PC crash, it just, all hellfire and brimstone. But I have to say, everything's been running kind of alright now for the last hour. Don't jinx it. It should be grand. So we have peoples here on Twitch and on YouTube. Good evening to you all. You're all very welcome. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a pleasant Friday. It's the weekend. If you're in the United States, you have a 3-day weekend. If you're in Brazil, you have a 3-day weekend. So what you going to be doing for your 3 days off? New heading. 360 degrees. Heading north. Did you bring your grog along? Says, I'm just glad to fly anywhere with 50 FPS. Nice. Skyfly Bry is here. He says, I've been flying over 16 hours in a microlight and I'm still over Australia. It's a very big continent. It's massive. Yeah, Jam, I was reading that too, so I reckon they're going to do an update for the terrain and stuff. I think the next major update they got to work on is the autopilot issues. you know, and finish developing the G1000 and the G3000. Philip Breen says, Murph, loaded up. Where do I depart? You can head out of Santos Dumont, which is Sierra Bravo Romeo Juliet. We're just kind of circling around Rio de Janeiro. It's absolutely massive here. It's huge. Hey. With a TBM in the background. Sierra Bravo Romeo Juliet. Or you can start in the sky. If you just kind of click, go onto your map, you should see me on it. Just click on my location and it'll start off with you in the sky, kind of with the plane already flying, ready to go. That's usually the quickest way to jump in. Waltons is here. He says, I'm in the TBM. Needed to catch up with you lads. We have a sizable crew here, which is good. Look at the size of this city. Marcantella says, Murph, someone that lives in Rio could say half of this isn't right. I still wouldn't care. It looks that good. I agree. Kane Rose says, there must be about a Brazilians. This place is impressive. And there's a number of different airports here. This is kind of cool. Teresa says, I know it's kind of cliche, but a flight from Lukla to Paro is always nice to enjoy, I imagine, yeah. I watched Sam Chui, I think. He was flying with, I think it was Bhutan Airways. It looked absolutely amazing. He went into, I think it was Paro. And the approach just looks unbelievable. Some mines over there. Let's see if we can make things look a little bit more interesting here, shall we? Oh yeah. Marcatella says the light disbursement is amazing. It really is. They have all of this kind of atmospheric scattering, different shadows on the ground, on the mountains, the sky, on the aircraft itself. Absolutely amazing. Many thanks, Jonah. He's now following over on Twitch. Happy Friday to you, dude. And many thanks for the follow. Skyfly Bryce says, I will be going to the airfield next week to hire an aircraft just to keep my license because I had to sell my own aircraft because the hangar fees became ridiculously unaffordable. That's too bad, dude. Marcatella says, this is a great shot right here, Murph. Oh yeah. Very pretty. Did you bring your grog along? Says Flight Simulator has really done themselves. They've outdone themselves, or they've done themselves proud. It's visually stunning. Like, I mean, credit where credit is due. Yes, we can complain that some of the aircraft systems and avionics and whatever aren't up to speed, and you know the heavy jets aren't up to speed. But you know, it's give it time. Like, it's a brand new sim. It's still kind of in the game category. It's still kind of it has that new paint smell, but give it time. Like this has the capabilities of being something amazing. Oh look, there's mountains. Immediate right turn to 090. Wendy, I can fly straight into the mountain. Caution, terrain. It's like lemmings. If I didn't turn, what would have happened? Good job, good job. It's all the small details, like you got the reflections here in the glass. Got bits of dirt on the windows, you got the sun coming in, different shines off the seats. Just awesome. We're doing all right. We're going to turn right now for a new heading. And we're going to go for 150. Andrew Noble says, cornflakes for supper. You just can't beat them. The supper of champions. Marcantella says, Murph, my favourite time to fly was sunset into night. This is really bringing me back. That sounds awesome, dude. Yeah, it's like, you know, the golden hour, the magic hour. Looks absolutely stunning. Coupled with some kind of nice backdrop music always helps. Keen Rose says, sorry Andrew, but Crunchy Nut Cornflakes beats it in my honest opinion. Andy Shaw says, you're all in great formation. Where are you flying? And is the update out? I haven't opened Flight Sim today. It updated the other day, Andy. It should be on 1.7.14. Mark says, and a nice selection of music, might I add. Well, many thanks. Mark says, to me, this is the most peaceful time to fly. I have to say, either sunrise or sunset, it's always epic. And night flying as well, but it's just when you have that transition, it's amazing. The chess man, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. He's catching up now. Fugly is liking what he sees with the emoji. As we have shadows from the guys behind. Oh yeah. Mark says, Murph, do you think this might steer you to get your PPL? Would you believe I started on that journey a while ago. I have a couple of hours in a 172. And with a little bit of help from doing the likes of this, I'll hopefully get a chance to do a little bit more. Champ says, wow, I'm just flying over Oman in the 747. Looks absolutely stunning. Nice. Be sure to take a photograph. Don't forget, guys, we're over on Discord. Link just gone in on the chat. Feel free to share any of your flight sim photos or videos. If you guys have any questions or if you need a hand with settings or hardware or whatever, there's a good group of us over there. Feel free to ask a couple of questions. You guys are always happy to help out. Andy Beeston is here. He says, hello everyone. Good evening to you, Andy. Happy Friday, dude. Hope you're keeping well. If you've just joined us, this is the second official stream. We've had about several streams in between where I broke everything. And Windows updates broke everything. But we're grand. We're flying around Rio de Janeiro over in Brazil. And it's just kind of a chilled out flight. With all these guys. Yeah, so the overall plan, I want to get down to either a simulator in Shannon or one up in Weston, and I want to record it as kind of a vlog and start off with like a full level sim, and then I just want to talk to the local flight school to see, can I record a discovery flight. Now obviously I've been on discovery flights before, but it's more to give you guys kind of an introduction what to expect. That's what I want to be doing. So I've seen it on so many channels from Squirrel and Castrator whereby they've transitioned from flight simulation into the real world flying, and it's absolutely fantastic. Sir Blackie Alot is here. Good evening to you, sir. He says, set your time to about 1800. It looks cool. Well, now this looks nice. Andrew Noble says good night. In the sim or for real? If it's for real, good night to you, Andrew. We will catch you on the next one. Many thanks for joining us, dude. Mr. Chippy says, that sky. It looks insanely good. Let me play Among the Stars. Red Shot Chili Peppers here. He says, damn! I know, right? About to fly over my area. Sweet. Let's check out Christ the Redeemer at nighttime, shall we? New heading, turning to the west. 240 degrees. I'm near Sierra Bravo Juliet Romeo. Nice. Yes, it does look absolutely fantastic. So here, we're going to head over this direction. 200 degrees. Looks like we're being followed by the Blackpool lights. It kind of is. Hey fellas. Mark says, hey Murph, I told my wife that when I finish my system, I'm moving to the basement. I approve. Ten letter 65 is here. He says that looks savage. It just does. Alt History Movies is here. He says, I wonder if the night sky in the game is accurate. Would be extra cool if so. It is. Depending on the time and year, the stars are aligned in the right direction, the moon state, the bumps that we're getting here. So I would have thought we'd have a light or something. It's doing us something. Wonder if we make it a little bit darker. Perhaps it requires a patch. Because that thing should be kind of lit up like Christmas, shouldn't it? But now that it's officially nighttime, this place is just going to look nuts. Absolutely amazing. Billy Watt says, hey Murph, me and Ludo might join in if you're going to be streaming for a bit longer. Yeah, come jump on in, guys. Won't be terribly much longer, but you'll definitely get a flip. Okay guys, new heading, right turn. 300. Letter65 says, what's your username in Microsoft Flight Sim, Murph? I might join you too. D Two-Tone Murphy is the username, but if you jump onto the North Europe server and select all players, you should be able to find us. Walton says, autopilot trying to put me into the mountains again. It'll kind of do that. There's just something so terribly chilled out about flying at nighttime here. It's amazing scenery. The Tasman says, I see a leg hanging out of Sir Blackie a lot. Yep, they tend to do that. Andy Shaw says, are you seeing much live flights in the game from real world data? Yep. Mark says, I wonder if the level D sims have their eyes on this yet. I definitely say, look at the bumps here. Holy humbugs. That's because we went over the mountains. Look at the stars, man. Galaxies and just unbelievable looking. We're doing good. Mark and Teller says, I wonder if the level D sims had their eye on this. Yeah, I'd say they do. Like, I'd say the more the GA aircraft would definitely be looking at this. In particular, the likes of Cessna and maybe Beechcraft. They're just going to be waiting until, you know, the avionics are going to be sharp enough. Billy Walsh says, can you open your map? Indeed I can. We'll be here. SBRJ is there. We're going to loop around this area. Andy Shaw says, Mars is very visible from Irish skies these nights. Cool. Hi guys, new heading, right turn, 360 degrees, or due north. Oogie Boogie is here. He says, that's cool looking. It's pretty sweet looking. Mark says, Murph, I really do appreciate you taking the time to do these streams. My pleasure, man. Did you bring your grog along? Says, thank you, Murph, and the crew. I had an awesome time. I'm off. Take it easy, dude. We'll see you on the next one. And thanks for joining us. We're still reaching 52 viewers even now. I know, right? After the disaster stream, people still kind of said, nah, looks kind of good. We'll give them a second or third or fourth or sometimes even a fifth chance. But I really do appreciate it, all you wonderful peoples checking out the stream this evening. Happy Friday to you, wherever you are and whatever you're up to. Jam asks, hey Murph, what are your streaming plans over the weekend? I might do something tomorrow, and I might do another bit on Sunday. I'll see how it goes. Billy Walt says, Ireland's finest. Boogie Boogie asks, what kind of FPS am I getting at night time? It seems to be holding on to 65-ish frames. It's behaving itself. Good evening to you, Vic. He asks, is the Aer Lingus mod from Orbex? No. There's a free livery pack. I think they're on to version 8 now. If you just like do a Google or a Bing search for Microsoft Flight Sim add-ons or freeware add-ons, you'll find the pack. Or if you jump over to Discord, I think one of the guys has the link in there for you. Mark, you just totally planted a seed in my head for when it does get close to Christmas time. We gotta fill the sky with these things. Okay, new heading, turning east. 090. Kean Rose says the 2080 Ti's are going fairly cheap the last few days. Don't say that. I have one, and it was expensive. And my wife will absolutely kill me. So if anyone asks you, they're going up in price. I'm making a profit on my investment. Luda says the music is nice. Do you have a playlist? I don't, I'm afraid. I'll try and get you one though. The music is with thanks to Epidemic Sound. I have a subscription with them to broadcast the various tunage here on YouTube and on Twitch. Kane says, oops, if she's here, I was joking. That's okay. Say nothing to no one about anything. It'll be grand. Oh yeah, Nvidia dropped the price of the latest cards. I heard that as well. In actual fact, they're almost giving you a free update if you trade in the RTX 2080 Ti. That's what I heard, if I'm asked. That's not the case. I wish it was though. We have some nice formation flying here this evening. Mark, I'm absolutely going to use that line. I swear, hon, it's a collector's item. I swear, like they only made 1,000 of them. Okay, we're going to make it kind of daytime again. And the reason we're doing this, you guys know the drill. I'm going to land first. And when I land, I'm going to park up the plane, set up the camera, and then have a look at all your guys' landings. As my machine kind of paused as I changed the lighting, but that's okay. I'm almost paddy last. Now I'm in formation. Cool. Okay, so if you guys are up for it, that's what I'm going to do. So give me a chance to land. I'm going to turn on... Once I land, I need to turn on all the nameplates. And then we're going to be good. So jump down here. And we want to go to... SBRJ. Direct to... S... Come back here, you devil. Diddly diddly do. S B R J. Ranos Airport? I thought it was Santos Airport. Anyway, not to worry. There. SBRJ. So our little airport is just down here, so I'm going to land first. And yeah, let's see how this goes, shall we? Okay, so altitude, I'm going to lower this down to 2,000 feet. And V-speed it down to 500 feet. And you'll see our little needle here go to negative 500 feet. Mr. Chippy says, I've noticed it does a big pause whenever you change the time. Yeah, it's a bit of a kicker. I'm changing landing in an extra 300. It's a nightmare. Oh yeah. Butters all round, gang, says Jam. Good luck. We're all counting on you. Marcelo's here. He said there's a church called Igrela de Penha, or de Penha. It's on top of a hill near the international airport. Aha! That would make sense. Okay, gonna disengage the autopilot.
Hey, good morning.
Ian Rose has just subscribed. Many thanks, dude. Okay. We're gonna go for runway 20 right. And remember guys, let me get down on the ground first before you all start approaching. Billy Watts says, me and Ludo are doing formation. Nice. We got the runway well in sight. Descending here, just passing 1,400 feet. You know, our first notch of flaps here. Papa Joe B says, I told my luggage there will be no vacation this year. And now I'm dealing with emotional baggage. Yeah, that road looked pretty sweet, didn't it? Two zero right. Cinti 2019 says, no radio communication to be heard. That's okay. No, we've no ATC here at the moment, which is probably a good thing. Second notch of flaps. You see, this will be tricky as you come in over the water. There's contact. Try and keep it on the center line here. Bring our flaps back in. And we'll go down to the left. Many thanks, my dudes. See, there's no pressure on me, I just didn't land. There's going to be pressure on everyone else. Now guys, remember, you got to wait up there until I say we're ready. So we can see lights in the vicinity. That's always a good sign. We're going to park up here for a front row seat as we apply our parking brake. Okay, go ahead and get this aircraft shut down. Landing, taxi, strobes coming off, transponder coming off, avionics off, and the rest is pretty much good. Got our mixture, mags off, engines off, and our battery off. Cool. Okay. Now I need to do two things. Number one, turn on some traffic labels, apply, save, and go back. Now we're going to jump into the drone camera. Okay, so we're thinking, I need to speed up this camera. Come hither, you slither. That'll work. Okay, guys, so we're going to go for runway 20 left. That is the bigger of the two. The runway is now open. It's time for landing. Insert gag reel quotations somewhere on the screen. Now you remember, keep your spacing. We don't want you all landing together. Guinness Lover has some work to do. The last landing he had, he went in like a sack of potatoes, like a dart. No pressure. Okay, what I want you guys in the chat to do, let's do an estimation of the landing speed. So you can pick a figure somewhere between, well, you won't get to landing speed. Let's do a figure out of 10. 1 being horrendously bad, and 10 being butterly smooth. And depending on the chat, we will announce our winner. Who's inbound? Okay, we'll take our time. I could be a devil and change the weather, but I don't think I'll do that. I feel like a judge on Strictly Come Landing. Papa Joe says, yours was a 10, Murph. Mr. Chippy says 7. Dude, here comes Sir Blackie a lot. We're looking good. We're looking very good. Yes. Oh, that was nicely done, Sir Blackie a lot. No messing there. Slightly off the center line, but it looked nice. As Chas Murray comes in, The approach looks good. Oh, bit of a float. Oh, 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 oh. And down. Little bit of a bounce. What do you reckon, Chad? The Colonel gives him a 7. Here comes Billy and Ludus coming in for their formation landing. One is high, one is low. Looking good, looking good. Not too bad, not too bad. We'll take it. The Colonel gives them an 8 and an 8. Jarhead says 2 8s. The center line is for professionals only. Keen Rose says a 6 out of 12. How many fingers have you got, Keen? Marcantella says a 6. Irish Aviator says 8. Lunar Orbit coming in. The rate of descent is looking good. Lined up with the center line. Looks good. Nice flare. Nice flare. Ooh, a bit of a bounce. We can live with the bounce. We can see the Guinness lover approaching. Oh. Huey and Ralph are in that plane. Here we go. It's looking good. Kinda, almost, sorta. Whoa, whoa. And he's down. He made it, ladies and gentlemen. He has landed. He has landed? He has landed. Waltons, did you end up in the big blue sea? Marcelo has now subscribed. Many thanks, my dude. Waltons was too excited coming in for the landing. He had to ditch. So we have Philip Breen coming in. The rate of descent is good. Mind the waterline. We're looking alright. We're looking alright. Oh, 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 oh. And we're down. It was getting close. Captain Kangaroo. A decent ascent. It looks like we have the Berko Flyer coming in. Currently at 330 feet. Marcantella says, Murph, so far you're the only one getting a piece of toast for that butter you spread on the runway. The runway has been scattered with landing gear. The Berko Flyer lines it up. He sees the center line. SC Bama. He's going for the second runway. Who will cross the line first? Ooh. Well, I have to say they were both kind of decent. As we have Tarso, our local from Brazil. At 1,700 feet on his approach. Bama disqualified for incorrect runway. So Tarso coming in for the approach. What's going to happen? Philip says, it was lagging for me at the landing. Sorry, my English. Possible pilot deviation. Or pilot deviation. It could be.
Hey, good morning.
Cinti 2019 is now following. Many thanks, my dude. So where are we at with the scores, guys? We've a couple of 7s. We've a couple of 8s. We have 110 from Raiden. Philip Breen says, my glasses steamed up from the pressure. It's like that scene out of Hot Shots. No more formation landings here. That is owned by Ludus and Billy. So Tarso lines it up. As a hush goes over the crowd, you can hear nothing but your own heart beating. In a tail dragger, no less. Nice. Very nice. I think we got to award some extra points for the tail dragger, guys. And the fact, you know, he's from Brazil. We get a 9 from the Colonel. A 9 from Keane. Eugene gives him 11 out of 10. Marcantella gives a 9. Local pilot steals it at the last minute. And on that bombshell. What a night. What a crazy, crazy night. The winner and new champion goes to Tarso. Congratulations, well done. Your prize is you get to fly again. Oh, what a night. It was a night of things breaking, emotions flying, anger driven, windows broken, and you guys hanging on here to recover the situation. My thanks, as always, to everyone here in the chat, both on Twitch and here on YouTube. Many thanks, guys. Happy Friday. He's joyriding. So yeah, and it's still monetized. Nice one, Colonel. Alright guys, I bid you all good evening, good night, or good morning, depending on your location. I'll try and get back on Saturday for a bit of a stream. I know our American friends have Labor Day on Monday. There will be a stream on Monday night. Gonna do something in the US for you guys. And to our Brazilian friends, it's Independence Day on Monday as well. So yeah. So a bad night turned into a good night, turned into a bad night, turned into a great night. That's what we'll say. Anyway, until the next time, you can catch us over on Discord. Look after yourselves. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.